What's y'all's biggest red flag when it comes to a guy?
A girl best friend. I don't trust that
Have you ever been a girl best friend?
No.
She's lying.
I've been a girl best friend. Hold on.
And you was trying to get down? You were plotting.
I was plotting.
She was plotting.
Feeling how that works, right? It had the complete opposite effect of what these people with this ideology wanted. You demonize men and they become weaker and they become more dangerous in turn.
Right. It's exactly, they've created the men they were fearing in the most,
and isolated the man that would take care of them.
Exactly. Now all the good men don't want to step in, don't want to risk getting sued, don't want to risk everything I've heard.
Why would you risk getting hurt for somebody that demonizes you?
Exactly. Why would you risk it for society and for a gender that completely is trying to emasculate you and devalue your existence? Why? So then this is what happens. Now the rise of weak, effeminate men. Society has been known for millennia that these are the most dangerous of men. A strong man with a strong family and children and morals, ideas, goals, virtues, whatever you want to call it. Those kinds of men that are in positions and strong social nets with other men, strong brotherhood groups, those men don't do the majority of what's happening here. It's always some off the wall, weirdo type, weak, was like outcasted socially, up schools, who does mass. It's always these outcasted types.
Wake up, Jacob, and welcome back. Hey, before I get into addressing the clips that you guys are going to be seeing, I just want to shout out to a lot of the people in the manosphere space. And I don't want to forget, there's also some women in the manosphere space that I draw some inspiration from. And I get some of the clips and things like that, and I want to react to some of them too. Fair use on some of these, but I don't want to take credit like I'm the originator of some of these clips, right? So I just want to go ahead and shout out a couple of people. Average Man Unplugged, I want to shout him out. He's doing great work. And some of the women, Dee Dee, she's awesome. Danica Marie, we all know that. Crimson Cure, we all know that. Those O'Shea Duke Jackson, mediocre tutorials, mediocre reviews and tutorials. Chisa Zed, Austin Holloman. I want to shout out the Kosher Clinician. Want to shout out all these guys there. The Tribe of Men, BMT Travel. Want to shout out that Black Light Podcast, Charles in Charge, which is where some of these clips come from. Charles in Charge Podcast, International Passport. Darius M on there, Taylor the Fiend, I like him. Manosphere Highlights, Pink Book Lessons. Brazil Yesh, Zoom to Thailand. The Philip Scott Show, More to Life over there, shout out over there in the Philippines. Casual Bachelor, Mashawn Denise. One Master Tishna and Rational Male Clips. It's complicated, and I also want to shout out Just Pearly Things. That's just a few of them. There's some more out there, but I just want to shout some of them out because I'll be reviewing some of the things that they put out too. Now on to the clip. First of all, the whole guy friends and stuff like that. I don't know. It was something innate in me. It was something in my codex. I don't like the idea. If I'm talking to a woman, I don't like for her to have, guy friends and stuff like that, because it just doesn't work with me. Now, obviously, modern women will be like, oh well, you're insecure. No, it's not that. It's just that no, I'm not gonna deal with monkey branching, and we don't want some woman who want to maintain all her options and stuff. And a lot of time, the guys in the friendzone or he just a friend and all that stuff. Half the time, those guys are exes, and like, nah, we're not doing that. Now, woman has every right, she can choose to either deal with me or have her guy friends. So she can do whatever she wants. As far as the other clip, guys don't want to get involved, guys don't want to help, because why help the strong? If a woman comes off and she's strong, she's independent, she don't need a man, in times of distress, why would a man want to help? Why would he want to get involved? Why would he want to risk anything? Guys can't even approach today. They can't approach a woman in a grocery store or in a gym or anything like that because he's a creep and all that. So masculinity is deemed toxic now. Everything that makes a guy now is toxic. Men are being emasculated, and no one can say anything. It's been so normalized that people sometimes they don't even hear that it is toxic. They don't even hear that it's wrong. But the minute you say anything against a woman or hold a woman accountable or whatever, it's cancel culture. So, why would a guy want to be in situations like this when we are constantly demonized? And the other thing, we're always getting lumped together in groups with men who do the unthinkable, who do the unspeakable, who do commit heinous acts, right? Now, all men is in there. And then I saw a compilation of video where, and the whole thing is that the women were upset because men defend themselves by saying, well, not all men. Basically saying, hey, I'm not in that group. Hey, I'm not one of them that does that. And I'll do a video on that one, guys. But I understand. I get what the clip is saying. That guy from, Tribe of Men. I get what he's saying. I get it. Who wants to help someone where you can risk everything when you're trying to do something good, or when you're just trying to exist as a man and stay in your masculine frame? Next clip.
I didn't cheat just to cheat. It was a reason behind that cheat. It was a breaking point. Do I feel good about it? No. But here's the thing. Women just don't get up and say, I'm finna go to this house and fuck him.
Okay, so guess what? All right. So did you go out your house and go to the gas station and fuck you met at the gas station?
No, Vern.
No. Okay, right. All right. So that means you knew this beforehand. You left your house with your guy, went to where he was, and opened your leg. That's premeditated murder.
Got him. We fucking got him.
You're saying you took 3 steps back when you found out the financial situations or whatever.
Right.
Now, my issue is this, and this is why I stopped it. My issue is this. How do you not know that was your husband? How do you know that?
Because he wasn't financially stable.
A verb. Got her. He got her in that clip. Women don't cheat by accident. It is premeditated. They think about it. It's not a, oops, how did this happen? It's not an accident. It's not an accident. They know exactly what they're going to do. See, what we got to understand is that women holds the keys to sex. They say who gets sex and who does not get sex. So it's not an accident. Now they justify with their emotions, so-and-so didn't treat me right, or he's not paying any attention to me, or he's always gone, or whatever. They'll justify with some sort of feeling, some sort of emotion, and then they go ahead and justify the reason why they cheat and step out. But there's no excuse and there's no accident. The other one is about the money. The other clip is about the money, and they leave good men. It goes back to that saying, in the manosphere that, women like to wait at the finish line. Men doesn't have all his stuff together right then and there. They won't give him the time of day. They just won't do it. Most women anyway. Certainly not modern women. They don't give him the time of day. That's why the guy asked, he said, how do you know that wasn't your husband? That kind of thing. Oh, well, he wasn't financially, hey, it's all about, it's all about those. It's all about that. And a lot of times, women, if we look at their dating standards and stuff, that they don't really, modern women, they don't know how to vet men. That's why we need to get back to the old ways. Scriptures talk about getting back to the old paths. We need to get back to the old paths. And one of those old paths is that men were vetted by fathers. That's why men, you had to go to the father, because the father would check you out. Because the father ain't gonna look for superficial type stuff, because the father knows what it takes to provide so that she's covered. He wasn't concerned about how in love his daughter would be. He's want to make sure that she is properly taken care of, and that he has a responsibility, and now he's going to remove that responsibility and put it on the responsibility of the husband. So his best interest is to make sure that his daughter is taken care of. So he's going to vet way different than a woman. I think arranged marriages should come back. Now, I know that's taboo, and women be like, oh my God. But if we did have arranged marriages the proper way, will we have the problems that we see now in today's society?
What do you think women could do better in modern dating?
We could actually communicate what we want instead of playing the game. Because we do it too. I won't stop you back for an hour, blah, blah, blah. It's the game. I make him play the chasing game. That's not cool. If you just want to text someone, text them.
You took cuddling away? We couldn't lay in the same bed and even just talk.
Because of temptation. You know what I believe. You know that I'm a Christian woman. You know that what we're supposed to do.
And I understand that.
So if you couldn't do that, then you should have said that.
But if we can't even just lie together or sit on the couch next to each other?
What?
Why did you take sex off the table?
Because I wanted to have an intimate relationship, not just be about sex. Always having sex all the time.
But
I feel like a relationship
was
is more
built
than
off
that.
sex. A foundation of sex, you take that away, your house crumbles.
Yeah. Now, the old bait and switch. I'm a Christian woman. I want to do this. You want to do that. My question is this. How did sex get on the table in the first place? So you use the sex to get the man, and then you take it away. Interesting. I'm not sure that's the best approach, because a lot of guys are not going to put up with it. I mean, I personally wouldn't put up with it that way. Now, obviously, you know, being of the Hebrew faith, that whole process would be completely different. But you don't put the sex on the table and then try to take it off the table and then try to dictate the terms of the relationship. All that stuff has got to be worked out in the beginning. Now, again, we're talking about secular people. We're not talking about people in a book. And this channel is really not about any type of doctrine or anything like that, but it does have it does kind of underscore some of the things or some of the perspective.
Steve, I've been with my husband for about 19 years, and we have 2 children together. He's the disciplinary in the household. However, at times when he's going in on our boys, I'll chime in because I feel like he's being a little too rough on them. He feels like I'm making them soft. How should I respond to this, or how should I act in the situations when he's disciplining our boys?
Well, you don't have to agree with everything he does, but why don't you just stay out the way?
I just feel at times he's a bit harsh with the punishments.
He is hard on them because they boys. Undisciplined boys grow up to be undisciplined men. Do you know the problem you're going to have?
Yes.
Undisciplined men end up in the hospital or in a prison, or they end up in a grave. You can disagree with your husband, you just can't do it in front of the boys, because once they see it in front of each other, then they got you.
And then last but not least, I think Steve Harvey was right. I think he was right. And that's the thing. Women come in and I think they overstep where their parenting is. They always believe that they know what's best for the children. And we all know that is not necessarily true if we look at the stats, data, and statistics as to what comes out of single parent household. And we know the majority of it is single mothers. Many of you guys are listening right now come from a single parent household. So most people, you know, most dropouts, single parent household. Most people in prison, single parent household. We can go on and on and on and on. The thing to remember is that children, and especially sons, need their father. Okay, men are created, not born. They're created, so they need their father. And sometimes the mother, they need to. Now, this isn't involved. This is a couple. Okay, this, you know, my husband, he seems too hard on. No. Get out of the way. Men know what it takes to make a man. Iron sharpens iron. And sometimes there's going to be sparks. So just get out of the way. I agree with what Steve Harvey was talking about. Stay out of the way. What we got to remember is that men bring discipline and structure, and women brings the nurturing part. There has to be a balance that the children need. That's why in a single parent household, that's why things is all out of whack, because the children don't have the balance. We can't lie with the numbers. We know that statistically that a child has every advantage if the child has both of their parents. Okay? And since they were talking about boys in that particular clip, sons need their father. Look at the condition that we are in today. Sons need their fathers. Thank you guys for joining me on this particular clip. This has been High Value Hebrew. Before I get out of here, please do me a huge favor. Like, share, subscribe, and let's get these numbers up. And I'm going to see you guys on the next clip. Oh, men, gentlemen, brethren, increase your value. Protect your seed, pursue your purpose, and move like men.